Our next comic is reporting live from the Tempe Improv. Give it up for Matt from Fox 10.
Yep, I did it. I went up on stage and told a bunch of jokes. Everyone was there and it was a great time. But how did I get here? Well, way back when I learned how to do some magic tricks, Chris Rose had told me one of his fellow performers not only did magic, but stand-up as well. He gave me his information and I reached out. I call it networking. He told me he couldn't help me, but he knew someone who could. He gave me a way to contact Tony. This is Tony. He runs a comedy school. It also didn't immediately work out with him. Something about a vacation and there was no signal. And then I forgot to reach back out when he got back. But then I remembered, and then we got it all set up, and it was perfect.
We have 2 classes we offer, and one is the beginning class. So that's 4 weeks where we give people the tools. So we offer writing and performance structure in the beginning class. If one then so desires, that's the tools in a sense. We then have an advanced class that follows, and that goes for 5 weeks. And that is where we develop and rehearse a set, a 5-minute set, similar to what you'll be doing. And then at the end of that 5 weeks, we do a performance here at the Tempe Improv.
They were having a graduation performance that happened to land on my birthday, so everything was just working out. Except for scheduling. So technically, I learned everything on the 2nd, and then I performed on the 3rd, but it still counts. So that's how we ended up here. I showed up for my learning session at like noon, and Tony was there, obviously, but there were also some other comedians, including this guy, who was crowned the funniest in the Valley, and that got him an opportunity to go to Hong Kong and perform. He also performed first during the graduation thing, and here's a little of what he did.
How am I supposed to that? You want me to just lean back with my open while you shoot it up? Some of you didn't get that. It's because you're good people. That's a good sign. No, I always thought, when I was younger, I always thought when people told me they like to eat Cracker Barrel, it was just code for them saying they like to eat.
So back to my lesson. Where I'm coming from, and I told this to Tony, is I know that I'm funny when I'm with my friends. So if you ask any of them, I think that they'll confirm it. But writing jokes for an audience of mostly strangers is like way harder. We went through some rough theory, which I immediately only remembered 2 of the 3 things.
We got 3 key things that if you can access any of these for a little bit, it's going to help you. Connection to the crowd. It's talking to people. People love to be talked to. Connection to the crowd. Okay? Then there's connection to yourself. Be willing to show your emotions. And then the other one is connection to the material. And we'll get to that a little bit later on. Connection to the crowd. Talk to people. Connect yourself. Be willing to show your emotions. This is going to be your first show. Okay? You have started your comedy career the day before the first time you get on stage, which makes you insane, to be perfectly frank with you.
And then I was forced to go up on stage.
You know what we need to do now, don't you? We need to have you go stand up there.
Just to get an idea of what it was like up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, our newest comic.
All right, so just step up the microphone for a second. I want to see how this works for you. Okay? So,
Tony talked to me and asked questions, and then we got to writing. I'm not sure what I was expecting for the joke writing experience, but it definitely wasn't what we ended up doing. We were just finding things to try to make jokes about, and that sounds like it would be easy, but it really isn't. I also have to keep in mind that this whole thing is for work, which means all dirty jokes for the most part are out, and all workplace jokes for the most part are out. And I also love my wife, which means all relationship jokes for the most part are out. So basically I'm stuck with knock-knock jokes. So we write down all the jokes that we came up with, all the good ones and all the bad ones and all the maybe ones in cursive so that I can't read them. And then we rewrite them in normal so that I can read them. And we kind of go over all of them and decide what kind of style I'm going to be trying to do. And then I go up on stage again and I have to go through all of them to go for timing. We're aiming for 3 to 5 minutes, and I got 2:45, which is good enough. So at that point, it was decided that I'm a lost cause, and they've done all that they can do. So we call it a day, and they leave me to just practice for the following night. As the time counted down until I had to go, I noticed that my brain had sort of shifted into comedy mode. As soon as I walked out of the building, I knew I was getting rid of at least half of the jokes. They didn't work, or to make them work would take too much time, so I took the ones that I kept, and as I was driving around, I noticed I was coming up with new ones, at work, on my way home, whenever. I was coming up with fresh material and better ways to use the old stuff, and it was really weird, but I went with it, and I texted Tony my ideas, and he said that they were good. So the day of, I was told to arrive at 6:45. I got there earlier, but so did a bunch of other people, so it was fine. It allowed me time to set things up how I needed them. I invited a bunch of people from work and a bunch of people from elsewhere. I didn't actually invite a bunch of people from work. They just kind of found out and then showed up. The show was beginning, and Tony told everyone what was happening. The first guy, you remember him, he went up, and at this point I realized that I didn't actually commit anything to memory. So I ran out into the lobby where it was a little bit quieter, and I tried to force the jokes into my head, and it wasn't working, so I did the tried and true method of writing hints on my hand that I could sneakily look at if I needed help. I was stressing, and then before I knew it, I had to go to the green room because it was about time for me.
Our next comic is reporting live from the Tempe Improv. Give it up for Matt from Fox 10.
Hi everyone. I'm wearing sunglasses so I can't see any of you. I'm Matt from Fox 10. This is my first time doing this. So I'm kind of doing this show where I learn how to do stuff in a day. So yesterday was my first day doing anything with stand-up comedy. So I went to Tony and he taught me kind of a quick 3 hours how to write jokes. And then I had to kind of cram it all. And it sounded really stressful. So I got to thinking about it, and it was kind of like getting paid by my job to find other employment. So that's kind of what we're doing. And as I was driving around yesterday, going home, trying to memorize the jokes that we came up with, I got to thinking it was kind of unfair that all these other people got 9 weeks of practice in writing, and I got 1 day. But then I thought of it a little more, and I realized that if it was up to me, then I would probably wait until the last minute, until the day before anyway. Because I'm really a procrastinator my whole life. So my best friend's wedding, probably 1.5 years ago, I was the best man, obviously. And I had all the time from being invited to come up with something to say, and I just kind of winged it instead. And back in college, I took a theater class, and it was exactly like this. I just memorized the script right before I had to go up and perform it. And another class I had was Japanese movies, because I was a film major. And looking back, it was really easy homework. It was just watch these 2 movies in the span of 2 weeks and then take a quiz. And I decided that my time was best spent just doing whatever for 13 days, and then on the 14th watching both of them at the same time. And then, the other thing that happened in college, I met my wife. She's a wonderful lady. I love her very much, and she's German, so do with that whatever you want. And as far as I can tell, we never argue because I can't understand a word that she's saying. She'll just yell a bunch of things at me, a lot of consonants, and I'll just say, "Ja, Schatz, du hast immer recht." Yes, dear, you are always right. That sounds like a good way to have a marriage, but I'll just come home and there's a couch. The shirt, I got this last night because my mother-in-law sent it to us because it's my birthday today. So, I'm busy with this right now, but maybe over the weekend we'll have our once or twice a year dates, and I'll put on a nice suit, the best one that I have, my birthday suit. I also happen to be the only suit that I can afford. And people kind of want to ask if we still date. No. the economy, no, we can't afford to do any of that. So I met my wife in college and we lived together, and then there was that whole COVID thing, so it kind of made sense to live together. And then, you know, what's the difference between getting married and just living together? Insurance. So we're insured, and if we split up, then one of us would have to go on access, and nobody wants that. So I went to college at Purdue, which is in Indiana. Yeah, brother. So Indiana is kind of different from Arizona. There's a couple things. So in Indiana, in the summer, it gets pretty hot out, and here it gets really hot out. I worked in Indiana at a news station for about a year, and from my experience there and my experience here, the two stations, I think I have a pretty good idea of every other station. And I think we all have the same problems, and it's communication. We work in communication and none of us know how to do it. I have like a live shot like over here at the Phoenix Raceway at like 6 in the morning, and then at 6:30 I have to go to Scottsdale. That's not possible. Like I'll do a story on a race car, but I'm not going to steal one for you. And a lot of times we get sent places, and I'm unsure if there's actually something happening there, or if they're just trying to waste the company's gas. And I shouldn't care because it's not my money. Now, at the station, you might be able to recognize this just from watching. There's kind of a hierarchy of where people are. You get like the anchors and the weather people at the top, and they like deliver the news to you. You got like reporters kind of in the middle, and they report the news and kind of gather it. And you have the photogs way at the bottom. And we just go to comedy clubs and humiliate ourselves. So I guess you could say I'm a bottom. Thank you.
So that was that. I think I did fine, but don't take it from me.
You were very funny.
Yes, you are, but I didn't need to see you on stage for that.
I would say for this being your first time stand-up comedy, yes, it was very funny.
Yes, very funny.
You know what? I thought you were pretty damn good for the first time doing it. Can I curse?
Overall, I think you did a great job, and genuinely impressed.
Matt did an awesome job. That was so much fun to watch for his first time being up there.
Now, this is, when you ask me, are you funny? This is like you showing me your new baby and then saying, isn't she adorable? Well, maybe she's not the greatest looking baby ever, but what am I supposed to say? You are funny. You did a great job. And with no prep, obviously.
Yeah, I passed through that intersection, the 143 and the 202, not too long ago, because our photographer friend here at Fox 10, Matt Rusnak, you know, he tries to learn a job in one day. That's part of his web efforts these days. He's having a lot of fun with it. Tonight was stand-up comedy. So he was over at Tempe Improv with no preparation but 3 hours yesterday. And he did a great job. Anyway,